Folks, welcome back to the channel. We have the Ultra B out here in the streets today. We're going to be giving this thing a little spin. I mentioned the other day that I've been neglecting this bike, so today we're riding it out here in the city of LA, mainly in the streets. We may try and get a little bit of off-road action. I don't know where we would be able to do that, but this is mainly for the people who've been requesting more Ultra B stuff. I still have this bike. Yes, I did not sell it or lose it. It's right here. So we're going to be hopping on it, riding it. Going to go meet up with Jason, and yeah, whatever else the day brings, stay tuned. Here we go. All right, so the first thing I want to point out, this bike fits in the back of my RAV4. This is a 2020 RAV4 hybrid. I don't know who needs this information or what you will do with it, but it does fit. It fits actually pretty snugly. You can drive comfortably with it. The seats are a little bit further forward than I would like them to be, but I take the battery out. You could theoretically put a bike in like a SUV like this with the battery still in, but you know, do your own research. If I don't know even how much cubic space this vehicle has with the seats folded down, but it fits. So you could use this right here as reference for your own vehicle if you're wondering if you can carry an Ultra B in the back of your SUV. So from here, to take it out, you take the seat off, take the battery out. Also want to say the battery is by far the heaviest component on the bike. It's actually relatively lightweight when you take the battery out, considering its size compared to the Lite B. It's not that heavy. Now, by no means is it actually that easy to get into the vehicle like this. So you're gonna see how difficult it is to take it out right now as well. How I do it, I start by pulling the bike this way just a little bit. When I do that, it loosens up the front, and I pull the front wheel a little bit to kind of get it loose from its lodged in position inside the car. I think we're gonna open this door to help us a little bit. And from here, bike comes out. Now keep in mind, this vehicle is a work vehicle to me. It is not meant to be pretty or nice or kept in good shape. You can see some of the weather lining is coming off. If you're going to be carrying this bike around in an SUV, you will damage the SUV. This actually didn't happen from this. This is from a different something else that happened. I'll be gluing this back on at some point, not today, but keep in mind you will destroy your vehicle, or at least you might if you are not really careful. I just want the bike in there, so I don't take that much care getting it in. Your mileage may vary. Anyways, from here there's these latches you kind of fiddle with. Should already be unlocked. So yeah, this pops up. It has like a little hydraulic latch. Put the battery in, move these out of the way, and it slides right in. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure you do the orange one first and this one second. So they're in there nice and tight. You do have your storage here if you need it. Press both of these down so they kind of click, and then you fasten them. You have some tools here. Grab the seat, make sure you got it aligned the right way. You want to hook this thing onto this so you feel it kind of slide in, boom, and then you slap it at the back just like that. Kind of hammer it down, and then you're ready to rock. Now folks, this is how you carry an Ultra B in a RAV4. Good thing I didn't forget this. I totally forgot it was even in there. This is how you take the seat off, put it in there and turn. So the first thing you notice about this bike is that the tires, just like on the Lite B, are just not good enough for the bike. It doesn't look right? Like they just look thin for considering how big the rest of the bike is. The first thing I would do if I actually was going to be maining this bike would be swap out the rear. Go ahead and throw our gloves on. You guys know me, I am not a dirt bike or motorcycle rider, so I'm not going to be shredding that hard anyway, but this bike, it will catch you by surprise if you're not ready for the torque that it provides. We're gonna throw it right into sport mode though. So you hit this switch, bam, you tap this right here, bam, then you're ready to go. It is fast enough to get you into some trouble real quick. Got the whole function right there. So even though this bike is it definitely accelerates quicker than a stock Lite B. I believe the top speed is not even that much higher. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think the top speed is only around like 60 something miles an hour. I don't know. We'll try and do a top speed run later on today, maybe over the bridge. But I did one. I think it hit like 60, maybe. I mean, my Lite B's top speed bone stock is around like 45, maybe 50 with a fully charged battery. But I don't know. Anyways. First thing we're doing is going to the Staples Center, and that's where we're going to meet up with Jason. This thing does have rear view mirrors, or left and right rear views that I do not have on. Go ahead and try and get up here.
Yeah.
From when I was riding over here, it feels mostly the same as how you probably felt it right now. You've noticed a tiny bit of difference, but it feels about the same as how you just felt.
So at least it's consistent though. It's consistent.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Jason, want to lead the way? Take us on a fun route?
Yeah. Alrighty. Oh man. We're confident that thing can keep up with the range it's got right now.
Yeah, I would hope so. We got Dan the Man. Well, we are out here on the Ultra B in downtown LA. We got a crowded Staples Center. That guy's got a snowboard.
How fast do you want to
go? Yeah. That's a real question. Why does everyone have snowboards? Did you just win a snowboard or did you buy one?
I had to buy it.
Oh, so
But there's hella deals inside. You should go.
yeah, we see people walking around with snowboards. We're like, what's going on?
No, it's like literally 70% off.
Really? How you guys want to take this? Well, I'm on the sidewalk with an Ultra B. This is something you probably should not do. So one of the first things you notice when you're riding this bike, by the way, everyone gave it a spin. I think it's unanimously loved. But the first thing you notice is that you're just in a much more, look at Dan just, wow. Where you going, Dan? We'll catch up with him. No, he's fine. I think he's going to Litco. I think he's going to chill there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he'll catch us later. Huh?
He just not show.
He'll catch up with us later. He's gonna go hang out with his homies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he knows all those wheelie cats that hang out right there.
Yeah, he got me concerned for a second. Dude just drove off like. Oh.
Nah, he knows what's going on. If it is, trust, Dan will find us in no time when he wants to.
For sure.
He will catch us very quickly. All right, you guys go in front. I'm gonna pull up the rear. All right, so we got Jason on his Wolf King. That scooter's fast. We got his two buddies, his Talaria. We did a video on that bike real quick. I rode it the other day. It's fast. And yeah, I think his buddy's scooter's pretty quick too. So we got a nice little squad right here going to the bridge. I did not realize that my bike is on low battery. So we're actually at 25%. I thought that the battery still had juice because when I turned it on when I left the house, it was at 93%. But turns out it was actually almost dead. We're at 25.
My rear brakes compared to those brakes suck. Grabbing like an Ultra B's brake. Yeah, pretty much.
You had bigger rotors on there too, didn't? Are those the same rotors that come?
But it still sucks.
Yeah. Definitely my favorite part about this bike is the brakes. Well, once we get past this main street, we kind of just start ducking and start mobbing. Hold on, Dan's calling me. Hey, Dan, we kept going straight. We're right here on Pico. Up here, make a right on Venice.
Okay.
All right, top speed, 82 kilometers per hour. Someone do the math. That's what we got. Okay, so I think the top speed's 82 kilometers per hour.
82 kilometers per hour.
I felt the thing about this bike is the top speed just comes up like that.
Yeah, I know, right?
It
just gets up there and then you can feel it.
And then it feels like it almost limits you, right?
Yeah, it limits itself, right? Yeah.
I don't know if it is, but yeah, let's just keep rolling. You know where Litco is?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's where we're going. It's on flour.
That's on, okay.
Yo. What happened?
Chain snap.
Oh,
Oh my ass hurt. So it's gonna be like that.
they're like, yeah, definitely not those guys.
Yeah, definitely not those.
We could bend the sidewalk and go around, or we could wait for them to get some distance on them. And
Come on that side?
I don't know, Jason, lead the way. You're the local. They don't really look that concerned. I think we're fine.
They probably don't even care.
Yeah.
Way down there.
He knows what he's doing. All right, folks. Well, we had a cool little outing in downtown. I failed to get my battery charged, so that was my bad. It's already semi-limp mode. Jason, right here in the blue flannel, got his thoughts. He likes the bike. I mean, everyone took it for a spin. I wish I got their POV riding it. That would have been cool footage, but we'll always do that next time. We just are trying not to get stranded. Battery is decreasing rapidly. We're at 17, and now we're down at 11. So the last thing I want is for this bike to die completely and go in limp mode. Like right now we're in sport mode, and I can barely keep up with these guys. So that says it all right there. This bike ain't doing what it's supposed to be doing. But look at that truck, it's sick. We will get it fully charged up, bring it out again another day. Yeah, it is definitely in limp mode. I can barely keep up with you guys in sport mode right there.
Oh, damn.
So that's how you know it's in limp mode.
He was juicing out your motor.
Yeah, but then it also started half dead, so I don't know what it actually was at this entire time. It could have been, it's probably just been off the whole way.
Yeah.
Because I haven't charged this bike in
So it's sad.
Alright, well, we did what we could out here. This thing's on its last leg. We're at 13%, limp mode. But yeah, we're gonna have to pick up on this video tomorrow, folks. Stay tuned. Alright, folks, we are continuing the video. We're back on the Ultra B. We're starting off in the neighborhood. We're gonna go hit a little trail over here, and I'm gonna continue to give you guys some of my thoughts about this bike. So one thing I want to point out, a lot of you guys reach out to me asking me which bike, you know, for your first e-bike. This one is actually at the top of most people's list. They cross shop this with the Lite, and if you don't have any hands-on experience with either, you would automatically assume, you know, you pay an extra $1,000, you get a significantly better bike, and that's an import model price. I know you can get these bikes for close to $5,000 now, which makes it really compelling to shop for this versus a Lite, because at that point you're paying like $2,000 more. I know if you buy one like a domestic model with a USA charger, you're looking at like $6,500. It's a lot more nuanced than you think. It's not just like, oh, this bike is more expensive, it's bigger, it's faster, it's got a longer lasting battery, so it's better, right? Not necessarily. I still think for like 80% of people, the Lite is just simply the better bike. And then that becomes a little more complicated when you think about the fact that there's so much competition in that space. There's the Talaria XXX, the Sting R, E-Ride now has that bike that they make. I don't know anything about them except for, you know, SURRON is involved with them, so I would assume that they're good. That guy knows, you know, I don't feel like he wouldn't put his name on crap. So I mean, I don't have any hands-on experience with any of those bikes except for the Talaria Sting R, and my thoughts about that was that the bike is really good. It's heavy though. I still think that the Lite is the best bike in that segment because it is light. You know, it's right there in the name. It is a lightweight bike, and I don't think it should be discredited. The fact that that bike is lightweight makes a significant difference in how good it handles. And for most people, the fact that it doesn't weigh that much makes it more capable. Which e-bike you should get in that realm, I guess it's more complicated. It's gonna ultimately come down to personal preference. I still just like the Lite the most out of the ones I've tried. I also have the RAR, I have the Solar Eclipse. Those ones I feel like are a little bit more direct competitors. And then this is kind of just, you know, it's way more of like someone who's shopping for a dirt bike. And there's a whole nother conversation about that, right? Like, you're spending $5,000 on an e-bike. I guess if you're shopping for a dirt bike, you can get like something really killer for $5,000. I don't know anything about that because I've never bought a dirt bike. I don't own any. So that's somebody else's conversation with more expertise on that subject. But for me, I don't know. The whole reason I bought this bike is just because I thought it was cool. You know, I thought it's cool. I had the spare income to buy it at the time, so I bought it. And this is my 6th time actually getting out and riding it. There's just no terrain for me to ride it. Another thing that I saw a lot of people point out is that like the Lite is a bike you can really leave your house from. And the Ultra B is too. This bike is as well, but it's much more an event. Like, you can't, it's not just like that flickable bike you can just cruise around and kind of take into some places and they won't bat an eye at you. Like, you're not taking this thing inside anywhere. You can't take this inside any grocery stores or Starbucks. I think you can probably get away with taking a Lite most of those places. Let's keep going. But this bike, you know, so if you're, first off, you need to have a garage. Like, you can't keep this bike in the house. I guess you could, but it would be very inconvenient to try to keep this thing inside like an apartment or inside your house. Like, it is just not meant to be kept anywhere besides the garage. So there's that. I mean, people also kind of look at the Lite V everywhere you go. Like, it definitely gets you a lot of attention. You know, people stare at you on that bike, no matter where you're at. Dude, it's so much fun just pulling this thing though. You definitely feel the increased power. Right now we're in D mode, which is, I think, the sweet spot for this bike. It has the E mode, which is kind of like the granny mode. This is like if you just got to conserve range. This feels less powerful than the stock SURRON Sport mode, but it's more I guess just for, you know, putting around, saving range. D is really where it's at. The sport mode, it power wheelies you. It's a little too torquey for the fact that this bike doesn't even have that much speed. So D is totally where it's at. Got a little jumping right there. It is jumpable. This bike is 180 pounds or something like that, so that's another thing. It's an extra 60 pounds. So that's one of the trade-offs you get for the extra range and, you know, the power you get out of the box. So ultimately, I guess it comes down to one thing. What's the purpose of riding a bike, right? If you are strictly riding your bike mostly off-road, actually gonna go this way. If you're strictly riding off-road, I think it's kind of a no-brainer to get this over a Lite B, because in order to make this thing, in order to make a Lite B match the capabilities of this thing off-road right out of the box, you're going to be spending the amount of money that you would have saved on getting that bike over this in the first place, right? So there's that. You already might as well just got this. You don't have to worry about upgrading the battery or the controller. You really only got to do tires. Like I said, the tires are okay. What I realized is that this comes with like these dicky tires. Can we stop this thing? Not really. This comes with these dicky tires because this bike is like sold as a commuter bike in China, I think. I feel like that's why it comes with these CST tires that are like not that good. I want to get across the street so we can go to our next spot. So yeah, one thing I wanted to include was everybody who rode it yesterday on camera. They pretty much unanimously agreed that it's just too much e-bike for the street, right? First off, there's no point in buying one of these if you're just going to be riding in the street kind of like I do, which a lot of people do. Get these bikes, these SURRONs and these e-bikes, and they almost never take them off-road, you know, which is fine. Don't let anybody tell you how to ride your bike, right? But it's not only overkill for riding just on the street, but you're limiting yourself in ways that you wouldn't even be doing on the regular Lite B. I mean, first off, if a cop sees me on this, it is you know, they're gonna do more than just bat an eye. They're gonna stop and look and stare, and you know, I mean, I don't know what could happen. I haven't got pulled over on it yet, but when it does happen, who knows what. So there's that. I feel like I just don't have that problem at all on the Lite B. There's rules coming in about these e-bikes pretty much everywhere, including LA, but I just haven't had a problem. Cops, I run into cops all the time. They don't care. As long as you're not like wheeling, I assume. Even then, I see people busting wheelies all the time, you know. So the cop thing is not something I'm really concerned about, but you just become far more limited on what and where you can do on this bike in comparison to the Lite B. So there's those 2 points. First off, you know, I think someone who's looking at this is definitely understands that it's a off-road focused bike first and foremost. Oh, it's closed. We can kind of get through here. It's gonna be a pain in the ass. Is there an opening in the fence? Let's just go around real quick. We might find a way through that, having to squeeze through there. I think this thing, Dan the man said it best yesterday. If you live somewhere where you're like literally in the middle of nowhere, like you have a ton of land, maybe you own a farm or something like that, Like, you will have so much fun on this bike. You will have infinite fun on it because you can actually use it to its potential all the time and not really worry about any of the things I just listed. There we go, we got an opening right here. So got a duck under the wire. It's kind of loose right here. We can open it up a little bit right here though. The torque is just, man, that must be what people feel like with upgraded SURRONs. Oh, they put a fence here. Good thing I didn't just full throttle into this jump. There used to not be a fence here, but there is now. I think we can go around. This way is kind of weird though. I don't like going right here. Oh, it's a big drop too. I didn't notice that last time. Okay, well, this kind of puts a hamper on our plan. Looks like they want to keep people out right here. I wonder why. Interesting. We could always just double back the way we came, because we can't get out this way either. I don't think I can make it through here, period. I've went down that side before and it's horrible. You have like a 1.5 feet of space to ride on, and the rest of it is dug out. So I'd say that's close to top speed right there. You don't have to be in sport mode, I think, to hit top speed either. I forgot we closed out right here. So yeah, I'm pretty sure we did just hit top speed in the dirt. This is the freeway. Oh, I'm gonna turn it around again. Oh. I mean, this bike really is incredible in the weird spot that it does fill though. It's like closer to a dirt bike for sure, but it's just not. It's just not quite there. I've only ridden dirt bikes a handful of times in my life, so I couldn't give you like a proper comparison from a real rider's perspective. I'm just giving you guys one from a SURRON rider's perspective that's been riding bicycles my entire life. So let's go ahead and get up out of here. The other great part about this bike is that you just don't have to change anything besides the tires. If you really didn't care about the tires, you wouldn't have to change those either. Other than that, it's you know, the brakes are dialed. Bike has power all day. Tons of power. like it's got power. That's not a concern. I think if you wanted more top speed, then you're probably not looking for this experience. But as far as that torque, oh man, you got it. You got it on tap all day. Okay, that was fun. Let's go ahead and make it out of here. So I mean, there's my scrambled thoughts on this bike. It's hard to actually put together cohesive, you know, statements about this bike while you're riding it, because it's just a full throttle experience, and it kind of demands your attention fully when you're on it. It's like half of you is riding it, the other half is kind of just hanging on. Oh Lordy Jesus. Wow. You can't even really consider this off-roading, but I can tell you one thing. I feel much more confident going that speed on non-pavement on this bike than I do on the Lite B. On my bone stock Lite B, of course, but if you're someone like me who you don't even do that many upgrades in the first place, if you're not trying to buy a bike and then spend the same amount that you just spent on the bike and upgrades, then definitely consider the Ultra B. But you got to remember, in order to have the Lite B with a similar experience, you kind of are forced to spend a bunch of money, and there's a reason for that. It's because you also have to deal with the downsides of this bike, quote unquote downsides. You know, I guess some people, that's just one way to look at it. You know, obviously a lot of people are going to see those as positives. The fact that it's bigger, the fact that it's larger and more substantial and less low-key and demands more attention everywhere you go. People are looking at it, and they would ask you about it if you slow down for half a second, but as long as you're on the move, you're pretty much just a blur everywhere you go. I don't think you could get away with commuting on this. Like, it's still not fast enough to go on the freeway, like maybe in the far right lane, but other than that, it's just I don't see that I don't see that happening. So yeah, those are my thoughts on a Lite B. I tried to get them to you guys when I was in downtown yesterday, but like I said, I had a dead battery. This is the full experience. We already burned 10% of the battery, which is kind of wild. We were at a full charge. So look at that car, sick. You know what that is. Anywho, that's my perspective from someone who owns this bike, the Lite B, a few other e-bikes, and you know, that guy's mad. It is still honking. Uh-oh. Road rage. Oh, burnt rubber too. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Let's go back through that route we came into. Oh man, it is exhilarating pulling the throttle on this though. Holy crap. Just that power. Oh, it is addicting. It is addicting. It kind of makes me want to upgrade my Lite B, but I don't know. I'll probably keep this bike, honestly. It's fun to just get out on it every once in a while, but this is not the type of thing I do often. And for me, the type of riding I do is really just exploring, so I don't need this much power all the time. It's nice to have every once in a while, but I really just don't need it all the time. Oh, that's a big wrench. You know, this is the type of bike you suit up, you put on boots for, and you're going on an off-roading mission, kind of that type of vibe. It's less for put on some sneakers and a full face and go kick around the city with some homies. So hopefully I helped you guys. If you're anyone out there is watching trying to decide between the two, I probably just confused you more than anything and made the decision even harder. You can always just be like me and buy both, and you don't have to decide anything at all. This part's so tricky. I hate coming through here. Oh, so you can't fall, or you fall on that, which sucks. We got it. It's a lot trickier going that way than it is the other way. Okay, we are out. A little bit of off-road action in. Let's go. That was fun. That might be the most off-road we've done since I got this bike. Ooh, there's a full sport mode pull. Oh my god, dude, it does accelerate so fast that like you're going the top speed of the bike before you even realize what's going on. Well, there you have it, folks. Ultra B, much requested video. Giving my thoughts about the bike. Let me know down in the comments, which one would you pick if you had to pick between this and the Lite B? What bike would you buy? If I had to buy just one, it's still hard to say. I think I'd probably get the Ultra B, because it's still capable for just about any situation that you can put it in. And if you know where to look, you're not spending that much more money. So I don't know. In the comments, let me know what you personally would pick. As always, thanks to you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video very soon. Peace out.